The British royal family has faced no shortage of controversy over the years. But now, a fresh wave of speculation, financial questions, and renewed scrutiny surrounding Queen Camilla's inner circle is fueling one of the most talked about royal debates of recent months. Reports circulating across royal watcher communities and social media have claimed that Prince William is taking a tougher stance on financial relationships connected to Queen Camilla's family. At the same time, renewed attention on comments and revelations involving Camilla's former husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, has sparked intense discussion about influence, loyalty, and the future direction of the monarchy. But what is actually happening behind the palace walls? Are these reports evidence of a growing power struggle within the House of Windsor, or are they part of a larger effort to modernize royal finances and redefine who benefits from royal connections? The truth may be more complicated than the headlines suggest. As King Charles continues his reign and Prince William prepares for the responsibilities that will one day come with the throne, questions about accountability, transparency, and the role of extended family members are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. And at the center of it all stands a family whose relationships have always been far more complex than they appear in public. For years, Queen Camilla's journey from controversial royal figure to Queen Consort, and later Queen, has been one of the most remarkable transformations in modern royal history. There was a time when public opinion toward Camilla was deeply divided. Her relationship with then Prince Charles became one of the defining controversies of the late 20th century. Yet through patience, careful public engagement, and the support of Charles, she gradually became an accepted and respected member of the royal establishment. Unlike many royal spouses, however, Camilla entered royal life with an extensive pre-existing family network. Her former husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, remained part of her wider social world even after their divorce. Together, they share two children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez. Over the years, both largely stayed outside official royal duties while maintaining close family relationships. This distinction has always mattered. Unlike working royals, Camilla's children never became official members of the monarchy. They did not receive royal titles and generally pursued their own careers outside palace structures. Yet as Camilla's position rose, public curiosity about the influence and opportunities available to her wider family also increased. That curiosity intensified whenever relatives appeared at major royal events, attended coronation celebrations, or became associated with projects linked to royal institutions. And that brings us to the controversy-generating headlines today. Several online reports and royal commentary channels have alleged that Prince William has been reviewing or reducing arrangements that previously benefited individuals connected to Camilla's side of the family. Some versions of the story claim funding was slashed. Others suggest contracts, business relationships, or institutional connections are simply being reassessed. The problem is that many of the most dramatic claims remain unverified. No official palace statement has confirmed any sweeping financial crackdown targeting Camilla's family. Yet despite the lack of definitive confirmation, the story has gained traction because it touches on something much larger than a single funding decision. It taps into a long-running debate about what the monarchy should look like in the future. For years, royal observers have argued that Prince William favors a leaner and more focused monarchy. The concept is simple: fewer working royals, greater accountability, clearer separation between official royal responsibilities and private family interests. Supporters argue that such reforms are necessary if the monarchy is to maintain public trust in an era of increasing scrutiny. Critics worry that reducing long-standing relationships could create tensions within the royal family itself. That debate has only become more relevant as financial transparency moves to the forefront of public discussion. Recent announcements regarding royal finances have reflected a growing effort to demonstrate openness and accountability. King Charles and Prince William have both been associated with unprecedented transparency measures regarding taxation and financial reporting, reflecting broader pressure for modernization within the institution. Against that backdrop, any suggestion that family-linked arrangements are being reviewed naturally attracts attention. But the controversy did not stop there. Almost simultaneously, renewed focus fell on Andrew Parker Bowles. For many younger viewers, Andrew Parker Bowles may seem like a historical footnote. In reality, he occupies a unique place in royal history. Long before Camilla became queen, Andrew Parker Bowles was part of the aristocratic and royal social circles surrounding the future king. His connections stretched across generations of the royal family. He was once romantically linked to Princess Anne. He later married Camilla. Even after their divorce, the two maintained an unusually cordial relationship. Over the years, Andrew Parker Bowles has frequently appeared at family gatherings and public events connected to both his children and former wife. Observers have often described the relationship as one of mutual respect rather than lingering bitterness. Recent public appearances and renewed media coverage have once again drawn attention to his position within the broader royal story. What transformed that attention into controversy was the interpretation of comments, interviews, and recollections connected to the past. As often happens in royal reporting, old remarks suddenly acquired new significance. Discussions about historical relationships, royal dynamics, and long-standing personal connections began circulating across newspapers, social media platforms, podcasts, and online commentary channels. Some commentators argued that these renewed revelations offered a glimpse into private royal tensions. Others suggested they merely reflected decades-old history being repackaged for modern audiences. Regardless of interpretation, the timing proved significant. Because while the public was revisiting Camilla's past, conversations about the future of the monarchy were accelerating. And nowhere is that future more closely associated than with Prince William. For years, William has projected an image of discipline, institutional responsibility, and long-term planning. His approach differs from earlier generations in important ways. Where previous eras of the monarchy often operated through tradition and inherited practice, William has increasingly emphasized measurable impact, efficiency, and public trust. His management of the Duchy of Cornwall since becoming Prince of Wales has been closely watched as an indication of how he may eventually rule as king. The Duchy provides substantial funding for the Prince of Wales while operating as a major land and property portfolio. Because of that role, any decision connected to contracts, appointments, or financial arrangements can quickly become politically and symbolically important. This is why even relatively small administrative changes can trigger outsized reactions. To supporters, such decisions represent responsible governance. To critics, they can appear personal. And when Queen Camilla's relatives become part of the conversation, emotions inevitably intensify. What makes this situation especially fascinating is that it touches on one of the monarchy's oldest challenges. Where exactly should the line be drawn between family and institution? Unlike elected governments, royal families are both public institutions and private families at the same time. Those two realities often collide. A relative may attend family events while holding no official role. A longtime friend may have professional connections that predate royal status. An individual may be close to the monarch personally while having no constitutional significance whatsoever. The public, however, frequently views everything through a single lens. If someone is connected to the monarchy, questions inevitably follow. Should they benefit from that connection? Should they hold contracts? Should they receive invitations? Should they have influence? And if reforms occur, are those reforms fair or targeted? These questions have no easy answers. That is why stories involving Camilla's family resonate so strongly. They sit at the intersection of money, power, loyalty, and public perception. Media coverage has reflected that complexity. Some outlets frame the situation as evidence of William asserting authority. Others portray it as routine modernization. Meanwhile, royal commentators remain divided over whether the controversy reveals genuine tensions or simply reflects the natural evolution of the institution. Public reaction has been equally mixed. Among supporters of Prince William, many view stricter oversight as a positive development. They argue that modern monarchies survive by demonstrating accountability and avoiding even the appearance of favoritism. From that perspective, reviewing financial relationships is not controversial at all. It is expected. Others worry that constant scrutiny risks turning ordinary family associations into scandals. They point out that Camilla's children have largely stayed outside official royal life and have generally avoided seeking royal roles. Indeed, public appearances by Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez remain relatively rare despite their close relationship with their mother. Yet in today's media environment, perception often matters as much as reality. A rumor can spread globally within hours. A speculative headline can generate millions of views. And a story involving future kings and queens is almost guaranteed to attract attention. That brings us to the broader significance of this controversy. Because ultimately, the debate is not really about one contract, one financial arrangement, or one family member. It is about succession. It is about the transition from the reign of King Charles to the eventual reign of King William. Every major institution experiences moments when one generation begins shaping the culture that the next generation will inherit. The monarchy is no different. William's decisions today are being interpreted as clues about tomorrow. Will he continue Charles's approach? Will he streamline the institution further? Will he reduce the number of people associated with official royal activities? Will he draw sharper distinctions between public duties and private relationships? Nobody outside the palace can answer those questions with certainty. But observers continue searching for signals. And stories like this become part of that search. Recent developments regarding financial transparency have only intensified those discussions. Public expectations have changed dramatically over the last decade. Citizens increasingly demand information about how institutions operate, how money is spent, and who benefits from public visibility. The monarchy has responded with greater openness than in previous generations, though debates about transparency remain ongoing. As a result, future kings and queens will likely face even greater pressure to justify decisions that might once have passed unnoticed. That reality helps explain why relatively narrow stories can evolve into national conversations. The public is no longer interested only in royal ceremonies. They are interested in governance, in accountability, in management, in the practical realities of maintaining one of the world's oldest institutions. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla finds herself in a particularly delicate position. After spending decades overcoming criticism and earning public acceptance, she now faces renewed attention focused not on her role as queen, but on those closest to her. For any public figure, that can be challenging. For someone whose entire royal journey has been defined by public scrutiny, it carries additional significance. Yet there is little evidence that Camilla herself has publicly engaged with the controversy. Instead, she has continued carrying out royal duties while maintaining relationships with both her royal and non-royal family members. That balance has long been one of the defining features of her public life. As for Andrew Parker Bowles, his place in the story remains remarkable. Few figures can claim connections to so many chapters of modern royal history. Former husband, family friend, one-time romantic link to Princess Anne, father of Camilla's children. A man who, decades after his marriage ended, still finds himself connected to conversations about the future of the monarchy. Whether recent revelations truly altered palace dynamics remains unclear. What is clear is that his name continues to generate interest whenever royal history and modern royal politics intersect. So where does the story go from here? At the moment, much remains speculative. There is no verified evidence of a dramatic royal purge. There is no official confirmation of sweeping financial cuts targeting Camilla's family. And there is no public indication of open conflict between Prince William and Queen Camilla. What does exist is a broader pattern. A monarchy adapting to modern expectations. A future king associated with institutional reform. A royal family navigating questions of transparency and accountability. And a public eager to understand how power, privilege, and family relationships operate behind palace gates. In many ways, that may be the real story. Not a sudden financial bombshell. Not a secret feud. But a gradual transformation taking place in full view of the world. The British monarchy has survived for centuries by adapting to changing times. Today, it faces another period of adjustment. Every decision is analyzed. Every relationship is examined. Every financial question becomes a headline. And as Prince William moves closer to the throne, those pressures will only grow. Whether the current controversy fades away or develops into something larger, it has already revealed something important. The future of the monarchy is no longer judged solely by tradition. It is judged by transparency, accountability, and public trust. And in that new era, even the smallest questions about family influence can become major national conversations. For now, the speculation continues. The debate continues. And royal watchers around the world will be paying close attention to every new development, every official announcement, and every sign of how the next generation intends to shape the crown. Because behind the headlines, behind the rumors, and behind the controversy lies a much bigger question. What kind of monarchy will Prince William ultimately inherit? And perhaps even more importantly, what kind of monarchy will he choose to create?